right, getting ready to go live with Pedro Rodriguez. We saw him in Cuba. He was taking me around, showing me everything, and we got his DNA. So now we're about to reveal to him exactly what the results are. So stick around. What's happening, Pedro?
Hey, man, how are you doing? Pleasure to meet you again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You doing all right?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Okay, so you're now in Philadelphia, is that right?
Yeah, I'm in Philly. I'm loving the city. Architecture is mind-blowing, man. Loving it.
All right. Well, we got some news for you. Because
Glad to
last
hear your news,
yeah, I'm actually in Zanzibar right now. I'm in Tanzania. So
Wow.
I'm all the way across the world right now. But I wanted to make sure we had a chance. Go ahead.
Yeah, cool, Tanzania. You
Yeah.
like it? There's many times, huh?
Oh yeah. We have a lot of people that like coming here, and so I'm with a group right now, and so we're here, and so I'm excited to share these results with you because I think it's going to. And I also have Dennis and Yoel, so I'm going to talk when I go back to Cuba. I'm going to connect with them and get them, and we'll see how I can make it all work. But I want to get you your results. So I'm going to bring the screen up here. And when I bring the screen up, it is going to, let's see. All right, great. All right, so right now you just see mine. All right, so this is mine, right? So we're going to go to yours and we're going to pull up here. Let's scroll down, and we're going to go to Pedro Rodriguez.
That's me, sir.
That's you. All right, here we go. Here's the breakdown for you. And so I'm going to go over here to your ethnicity estimate. And the ethnicity estimate really just kind of gives you a gauge on what your DNA looks like. So let's go ahead and get into the, so it's about to come up. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right. So, and I should have asked you what you thought, but we talked about it in your video. So we'll show a clip from that. All right. So this is what it shows.
Like 2 regions in the world?
Can you see it? Can you see the on the side there where it says 42% Spain?
42% Spain, yeah, because of my mom's side. One of my ancestors is from Spain, and then on my father's side is the same. Well, it used to be a Spanish colony, so it made sense. And
Well,
then Cameroon, Congo, and West Bantu peoples, because of for my father's side, my great grandpa was African. Portugal, and indigenous Cuba. Not too many Cubans have the indigenous, 8%.
So that's the Taino, right? The Taino, right?
Well, we had Tainos, Guanatabelles. It doesn't specify, but it's Cuban population.
Yeah. So you have Spain and Portugal. So you're about 50% Spain, Portugal, which is right there together. Then you have Cameroon, Congo, Western Bantu people, indigenous Cuba, Nigeria. Then Basque, that's like a European country. Then you have Senegal, Benin, Togo, Northern Africa, France, Ivory Coast, Ghana, indigenous America. You got a whole mix here going on, man. You got a little.
You see 2% of indigenous Mexico. Remember, I told you on my mom's side, one of my great grannies was from Mexico.
Uh-huh.
So of hers.
See, then Panama, Costa Rica, Italy, Bolivia, Peru. So it's a lot going on. I mean, when you look at the map, you see how, yeah.
For me, the biggest surprise is that the Cuban indigenous, because most of them were unalive within 60 years of colonization. So to have is 8%, right?
Yeah, yeah, you got a significant amount of indigenous Cuba.
8%, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they're still living. They're definitely still living. They're living in you, and they're living in others. Let me say that they're living in you, and they're living in others. That'll give you some insight into to some of the other tests that we took with you and Yoel and Dennis. So just I'll give you that little clue that there's some indigenous Cuba going on.
Yeah, I'm not the only one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I was recently in Puerto Rico, actually last week,
Oh,
and
cool.
yeah, and so there was a lot of similarities between Cuba and Puerto Rico, and they talked a lot about the Taino people, and yeah, talked a lot about them, and just about a lot of the same things that you said. Talked about how when the Spanish came, what happened, and how that whole how basically that the population, because they were all throughout the different islands there in the Caribbean, and so they what they went through, and then some of the other indigenous populations that were there, and how they would move between the different islands, and they would use like canoes in order to move around. Is that accurate? Is that consistent with what you know?
Yeah, it makes sense. They were very good navigating. They really were. And
Yeah.
very, how can I say? They didn't have veils. It was just a piece of wood in the water, and they
Oh,
long distances with those canoes.
so no sails. They just had a piece of wood in the water.
Just wood in the water, but they knew their way around.
Wow. So they were able to get around even with all of, without having all the technological advances. They were able to navigate and move from, the different islands. Go from, I guess they were going from Puerto Rico and the Dominican, because I think they were Dominican Republic also, right? And Haiti and
They knew how to use the streams. That was the thing. They knew how to use the streams. That's because they didn't have sails. So using the streams, they will navigate.
okay. So like the Gulf Stream and all of that, or whatever the different streams were, they knew how to get around.
Yes. That was the way they did it.
So what do you think, man? Now that you have some insight, what are your thoughts on your like? So you were surprised by the indigenous Cuba.
It's always important to know where you came from, because if you know where you came from, you can know better where you're gonna be going to. And to have this knowledge about my ancestors is very important to me, because I was always curious about it. You need to be proud of who you are, and knowing where I came from piece by piece is very important to make myself proud. I'm really proud of it, to have all that. I know Cuba is a big mixture. We call it ajiaco, because ajiaco is like a stew with a bit of everything, a lot of flavors. So that's Cuba. It's like the American, the US nowadays is very multicultural. So Cuba is a bit like that too.
Well, definitely looking at your DNA, there's a whole lot of multicultural going on here. There's a lot. So you are definitely a stew. And yeah, and I mean, it's really cool to see, because I mean, you can pretty much pick a lot of places. Obviously from Europe and Africa, South America, Mexico, Cuba, Central America. You can pull from all of that and see small pieces of yourself. Obviously Spain and Portugal are coming in the highest because of the Spanish, and I guess Portuguese. Spain and Portugal are, because they're right there together, many of them intermingled with each other historically. So to be able to kind of see that in your DNA, I think is cool. And then the indigenous population of Cuba, I think that's really key, because they're oftentimes not taught about, or they're forgotten by the rest of the world. You know, in Cuban culture, you know it. You were able to talk about it and really explain it. But for people like me, who all of our lives we've been told not to come to Cuba, or didn't think we could get to Cuba, we didn't know anything about that population. The majority of us, I should say. And so it's
Yeah.
really cool to start learning about them and being able to, um, you know, see you and your excitement about your connection with your ancestors. So yeah, man. Well, I mean, hey, I can't wait for you to see Dennis and Yoel's results, because I think there are a couple of surprises in there too. You know, I think they'll be surprised, but it's going to be really cool. I'm going to reach out to them.
So when you show them, please, I guess I can see in your channel on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I don't have their numbers. I'll reach out to them. I'll reach out to them and we'll set it up. You know, I know it's a little tricky trying to do it because they're still in Cuba,
Yeah,
but I'm going back to Cuba, so I may do it live. I may sit down with them and then, uh,
that'd be cool.
yeah, get both of them and say, hey, come meet me over here and let's talk. You know, I've done them live before as well, where where they could actually see it on the computer screen, and then take it from there. So. But man, excited that you're in the U.S. And when I get back in the U.S., because I'm in the D.C. area when I'm in the U.S., so that's about 2 hours away from Philly. So I'll definitely swing up to Philadelphia. Do you know how long you're going to be in Philly? How long are you going to be there?
Uh, I probably stay to live here, so I'll appreciate
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
live
okay.
with
Come up
my.
to Philly, hang out on Broad Street. So right downtown. Yeah, yeah. Go to the market. So yeah, I got a little familiarity with Philadelphia, but I'll definitely come through, and then I'll keep you posted when next time I go back to Cuba, and I'll let you know when I connect with Dennis and Yoel. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back to Cuba, and when I do, it'll be within the next several months, probably sometime in October. I'll go and unless they can get on Zoom or something like that. If they can do Zoom, then I'll do it as well. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna be hot. If you go now, it's gonna be crazy hot. Humidity is gonna be high. Yeah,
oh yeah,
October is gonna be a good month, but it's raining.
oh
October is
okay,
raining a lot. Yeah.
okay. Hey, we're gonna work. I got all so they want to see them, so we'll figure out how to do it. Yeah, man.
Oh,
Well, cool. Well, Pedro, I thank you for joining me, and I'm excited to be able to share this with you. And then I will be in touch. And as soon as I get settled back in the DC area, I'll let you know. I'll come hang out in Philly.
okay, man.
All
Enjoy
right.
your trip. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much.